About 100,000 years ago, Iridium asked me if I had any tips or advice for people who want to make virtual pet sim videos. And I have a lot to say on this topic, and also I kind of want to cover how I make videos in general. So I decided to make it its own standalone video. And so today I'd like to talk about technically the hardware I use to make videos, the software that I use to make videos, process of putting them together, and then I'll get into the more general tips and tricks of the specific discipline of virtual pet games and what I've learned and how I recommend doing it. This is what I call the tubarium. I have a desk, a desktop, a microphone, a webcam, and I have my old laptop stand. I used a MacBook Pro all the while leading up to this, and I just built the desktop a month ago. For a long while, I used an MXL 990 microphone. However, the interface gave me a lot of feedback and there was always a lot of fuzz, and it sounded a lot lower quality than it is, so I downgraded to something that's lower quality but gets the job done. So I have a blue snowball now and it doesn't give me any problem. I also upgraded from using my MacBook webcam to a Logitech 4K camera. It doesn't always focus well, and I am going to hang up a reflector so that the lighting is a little bit better in here, but it's been a marked improvement, and so I'm happy with it. My keyboard is just the most generic vanilla keyboard in the whole planet. My mouse is a very nice Logitech gaming mouse with 16 buttons on it and customizable weights. It's very important to me as I need to be able to customize those buttons. And then of course the ultimate part of my setup is my desktop, and I can post the specs in the description. My brother helped me construct it. I bought all the pieces myself. The one thing that you may notice that this is missing is speakers, and I have earbuds, but only one button in them works, which is why sometimes you'll see me just wearing one earbud when I'm recording these videos. And so right now they're not working at all, so I'm using my work headset, and I need to just buy some speakers because this is not a good system. I use OBS to screen record and to record audio. On my MacBook Pro, I used QuickTime Pro, which is a default application that allows you to record the screen, record video, and record audio. However, I transitioned over to OBS when I started working between many different computers, and it's just the best tool. It's open source and you can stream using it as well. For video editing and compilation, I use Premiere Pro. And I do want to say that I think editing is honestly the best gift that you can give your viewers, and I think it's really important to edit with the viewer in mind. There's a saying in writing that writing is not for the writer, it's for the reader. And so I watch a lot of videos in the niche of virtual pet sims because I like to support people who are trying to break into it. And the biggest crime that I see on a regular basis is not editing video. And you can easily respond, Julie, not everybody has a full-time job. Not everybody can afford Adobe Creative Cloud. And you are so right. You are incredibly correct. But there are a million free video editors out there, and if you are a student, your school probably has a media club or a media suite, or if you're in college, if you take media classes, you can access the media editing programs and you qualify for a discounted Adobe Creative Cloud subscription. That's what I used for years. And once I started turning, I wouldn't say a net profit, but once I started making anything off my YouTube videos, I started paying for Adobe. And I strongly recommend developing a discipline for editing, and also trying to make sure that your cat isn't playing in the background when you're making videos. And that even if it's just tiny crops, even if you have to refilm things 2 or 3 times, that it's worth doing, and it's a gift to the viewer, and it makes you proud of your output. Developing the ability to edit was definitely one of the hardest things that I've gone through since starting making videos, and it took me maybe a year to become comfortable in Premiere, but that's just because this is a complicated tool. I could have used iMovie. Louis C.K. used iMovie to produce his show, and frankly, people can't tell the difference. It's all about learning the discipline for the tool that you're using. So I use Adobe Premiere Pro. A lot of people use Final Cut. Windows Movie Maker works. iMovie gets the job done. Frankly, I just think it's important to have a constructed piece instead of a haphazard piece. Now let's move on to some general pet sim advice. When I started, my goal was to get access to betas for games, and that has worked out one time. So it's a good thing I put in like 3 years worth of effort, or I guess like 4 now, but I'm glad that I've done it because I got to play Dapper Volk a little bit early. It was worth it. I've had a really great time, and I've learned a lot of things. And so since that was my goal, I asked myself, what are the objectives to complete this goal? And for me, it was playing lots of different virtual pet games. Because if you show that you're willing to try lots of new games, developers will see that and develop a dialogue with you. And I have developed a dialogue with every single virtual pet site game that I regularly play, except for Flight Rising. Working on it. We're gonna get there one day. And I've had a really great time, but when I started, I found myself in a position where I was making a lot of tutorials. And this is such an easy thing to do if you're newly making videos, and I think it's a great thing to do if you are learning how to make videos. Tutorials are so good to learn how to make videos because it's a totally encapsulated video concept, right? Like there are steps. There's a defined beginning and end. And you can write it out and you can go through it and you learn how to use the tools, you learn how to develop your voice. But if your videos all become tutorials and that's all your channel is, you'll find yourself missing from the channel. And that's what happened with me. I realized there's no personality in any of this. Like I am missing from this YouTube channel. And so that's kind of why I try to do a lot less tutorials. A, because they're not fun to make. And B, because there's no personality in them. You don't get to hear me say mean things when I'm doing tutorials. That's probably not true. I probably say plenty of mean things in those tutorials. But now in the year 2018, my goal with this YouTube channel is discussing user experience design, providing feedback, giving input, and discussing challenges to browser-based environments. And virtual pet sites are a really great medium for that. And then also exploring new gameplay models. That's what I care about in 2018. So like the miniature objectives there are discussing layout design, discussing game concepts, trying more new games. I still do some tutorials every once in a while, but I like to reframe the way that I think about them and that I present them. So if you are new to the genre, I highly recommend that you get very familiar with who all the other video makers are. So Iracidium requested that I make this video, and Iracidium makes good YouTube videos about the genre. Hoodie Talks makes great videos about the genre. There are quite a few YouTubers that are smaller than me, and I'm already hecka small, that cover this genre. So I strongly recommend that you watch everything that the community, micro community makes to participate in communication, the discussion on all of the social media platforms you can. Like, I'm in the Facebook groups for all of the games that I play, and I share my videos there. The subreddit's the same. Tumblr occasionally, when I remember to these days. Totally on Twitter. And when the games allow it, on the sites themselves. And then, of course, cannot stress the importance of writing a keyword-heavy description of your video and tagging with good researched tags. I have an extension called vidIQ that I use to help generate tags, but you could also generate tags by listening to your video and writing down what the key terms that you discuss are. Like, this video's tags are going to be about making videos and like how to make videos and get your videos seen. And then it's questionable whether or not making thumbnails are important, but I like them. I just like playing in Illustrator, and don't understate the value of collaborating with other users on YouTube. I like doing it. It's a great way to learn more about yourself and how you work, because sometimes you don't know how you work until you're working with another person, and then you're learning all these annoying things about yourself all of a sudden. So yeah, that's how I do it. When you upload your video, it's very important. The time of day, you want to make sure you're not doing it when most people on the planet are asleep, because the way the YouTube search algorithm works is you want to get a lot of views and a lot of comments early in the video's life cycle, and that you can respond to and get it trending in your little micro community, and then hopefully trending in a larger community. That's how I recommend doing it. I do it during the week. I have not seen very much success on weekends, and pretty much during the late afternoon and early evening. That's all my advice. If you guys have any questions, leave them below. Otherwise, the next time you'll see me is when I'm showing off Kiki in an introduction video and she's not chewing on her belly. Isn't that right, little girl? She knows her name.